people on the internet are funny. Some of them are horrible. Some of them are trash. But a lot of times, the top comments are hilarious. I sometimes venture and say I was the first queer Central American person to be on a major American platform like that. We created Pero Like, the Latino vertical at Buzzfeed. There weren't many of us. It was like Me Too, Flama in New York, Remezcla, who's still around, Pero Like, and now there's like a bunch. For so long, a lot of queer people didn't have access to each other. I always say like, people expect a lot from queer people, but we had to grow up in the closet. We grew up in the dark, right? So like, even down to flirting or how we move in the world is gonna be a little bit different because we don't know. If you've been out of the closet for like 6 months, you've had 6 months to figure out how to flirt. Like, you don't know. My first time ever seeing other gay people, I remember I was 12 years old. I was walking into my friend's apartment building and there were 3 or 4 cholo gay dudes. And to me, I felt like Wendy going into Neverland and seeing the mermaids for the first time.
Huh? Oh, that's Wendy.
A girl? What's she doing here? And in her night dress, too.
Gay guys, queer people are some of the funniest people you ever meet. I think it's because we get bullied a lot, so we have to be quick. Like, whenever, like I remember there was a guy that would sneeze things and I would walk by him in the hallway and I would sneeze things back at him, like, off, and it was like, oh my God, where did that come from? I'm not that person, right? But it's like, you have to be really quick because you never wanted anybody to have anything to say. If you were faster than people who were trying to like talk to you and you made the crowd laugh at them, like, you were winning.
I was raised by a single parent. One of the most important things she taught me was resourcefulness. So we were always thrifting, and learning how to like basically fake it till you make it. And it was just like this amazing magical skill that I've taken with me, you know, to this day. So it's always been an illusion, and I'm doing that with photography, I'm doing that with my home, and it's just been, I think, the most powerful thing I ever learned and took with me as a kid. I was working, you know, to basically eat my whole life. So that hard work, that dedication has never left me because I had such a hard time as a kid, just trying to, you know, survive.
I basically hit the floor running. I didn't want to go to another school as a gay person. Like, oh my God, I have to go to another school and be queer and be gay. Like, I'm over it. I'm just gonna go and grind. So one of the first stores I banged on was like David LaChapelle's store, who's like this huge photographer. And he's super like an iconic photographer. And I kind of got raised there at his studio. I think he was giving me like $60, $80. And I was like, wow. And then I had this friend who worked at Buzzfeed. They were like, do you wanna be the receptionist here? And I was like, yeah, I can be a receptionist. I was a receptionist somewhere else. So I was like, okay, I can be a receptionist. And so I spent all of my time stocking the canteen, order their food, serve their lunches. And that was kind of like what I did when I first got there. When you're in a place of service, you're serving food or you're sweeping or you're cleaning, oftentimes you're invisible. So I started this thing called like my lunch show. I basically would get on my skateboard and I would skate around the studio and I would announce what we were having for lunch that day. I was able to control the crowd, who came up to the table and who was gonna come up and eat with me. And it became this thing, like, and I would howl really loud in the studio. One of the first people who was kind to me is actually Quinta. Quinta Brunson has a hit show on ABC now called Abbott Elementary.
What did I say about taking my potatoes from the lunchroom?
But visual learning is so much better.
Well, guess what? Now you have 0 potatoes.
She was like, you remind me of Cinderella. Like, you're in here and you're watching everybody and you're doing the thing. And in the movie, the slogan is be kind and be courageous. And so she's like, I want you to take that with you.
When I was in school, I was told by one of the teachers that only 2% of us would even become photographers, which ended up being very true. That kind of lit a fire under me. Like, I wanted to be that. I wanted to be a photographer. I already felt like it was crazy that people were paying for me to do like what I was most passionate about and what's so easy for me. I've been doing this almost over 20 years now. And it's fun now because I break the rules. And it's fun to relax and like not have it be all about equipment or not have it, be the correct way to shoot. So I kind of have been untraining myself from school in ways.
The internet can do a lot of things, but it can do a lot of good. And I think that the internet chose me. I don't think that there were a lot of queer Central American people on a major internet platform like that. And it changed my life because suddenly I had something to do. I had something to live for. I pushed my drug and my alcohol addiction to the side and I focused. The internet allowed me to focus on my own traditions of where I come from. Just being this queer Latino person on the internet, being a different face within the community that people can look at and be like, cool, we are a spectrum of identities. Now I'm like working on developing shows and moving up because of my voice and because of how I came up and the way that I write. I don't want to get like emotional, but I do get like to points where I'm like, what is life? And it's dope that something like the internet can literally change your life.
It's important to present yourself in an exciting way because unfortunately people want to be entertained on all levels. If you're not memorable, then how are you going to get return clients? If you don't get return clients, you're struggling and you're fighting. It really is, again, that idea of like, you can create an illusion. They don't need to have the portfolios. They might not even need to go to photography school. They're learning on social media now. So now they're able to do things that they may not have had the opportunity to do. So Curly and I think we have some very similar souls. We're like the same person inside.
Jamie Nelson has created this world that the fact that everything has been thought of and touched up and like looked at and just so well thought out.
So my house has this energy that really supports the strength in our being a sexual being, and I feel like everybody has become so like PC these days.
I feel like we're kind of in this era where sex is becoming a faux pas again, and to come into Jamie's space and see sex kind of like in your face and be liberated again in a sense. And it's femme power, women power, girl power with a giant dick, but it's flowers.
Let's go. Love it.
You're my gay boyfriend. That's it. He just cuts the hedges around here.